everyone. My name is Saksham Dikshit, and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So I'll continue with the same series for the lazy programming series itself. And before proceeding further with the series, for the today's topic, I'll try to cover the scope section for it. Why I'm not preparing any video from so long itself, it's just because I'm just learning something new about it. I'm not getting much time about it. Now I'm getting a time, and I'll definitely try to complete this series faster. And once it's completed, I'll definitely go with another series ASAP, so that whatever the new things I have learned it soon, like I have learned it in last few months itself, that I'll just try to get it conveyed to you so that you can learn that thing faster. You definitely like that thing. So let me continue with the same series itself, lazy programming series, and try to get it conclude this faster. It might be possibility few videos you're getting in a week itself, but I'll try my best to get it complete the series faster. Okay, so let me go to the system now and get explaining about it, what exactly that is stuff about it. Okay, so proceeding further in the scope section. So in this video itself, I'll try to get it cover the topic that we call it as a scope. So in Python, the term scope refers to the region of a program where a particular variable is accessible. Python have 4 different type of scopes, which we call it as a local scope, we can call it as an enclosing scope, we can call it as a global scope, or built-in scope. Okay, I'll try to go further with that each and every section for it, and then few samples about it. Even this document I'll share it with on my GitHub itself, and you can get it from there itself, and even the content on my blog also. So don't worry about it, the content will be provided to you itself. So if we're going further with the local scope itself, so variable defined within a function have local scope. So they can only be accessed within the function. So what it means, like if you're defining any function inside of the function, any variable get defined inside of the function, that variable can be get access inside of the function only. If you're trying to get access outside that function, that's not possible. That's it, we call it as a local scope, and with that variable we call it as a local variable. If we're going further with the enclosing scope itself, so if a function is defined within another function, the inner function has access to variable in the outer enclosing function scope also. So what it means, you have 2 functions, one is outer function, and inside of that function you have another function. So take example, it's a type of nested type of thing. So you have one function, inside of that you have another function, and if you have any variable inside of that the scope of that range of that variable is going out of that, like inner one also you can get it access, and outer one function also you can get it access that. So that's a functionality coming under the category of the enclosing scope. Now talking about the global scope, variable defined at the top level of the module, or I can say that declare as a global, have a global scope. So if you're defining anything as a global variable, it's having a far limit, and you can access it from anywhere within the module itself. So wheresoever you are using that whole code, you can get it access that anywhere itself. So that's a part of the global scope. Now the last one is a built-in scope. Python has a set of built-in function and type are always be available itself. So that's one other thing, it's having few built-in function. We'll just talk about that thing also later. So if we're talking about like global variable in the Python itself, you can get it access a global variable by multiple ways. Take example, if you get it, define it on the top of it and try to get it access in multiple zones. Take example inside of the function, then in that case either you have to get it define a global one, and then you can get it access that later phase itself. So that's one of the possibility for it, then which you can do it. Taking example, if we just go it further with the local variable, it's get it defined inside of that function itself, and you can't get it access outside of that function. It's get it accessible only in that section, and you have to use the global keyword when you are defining any global scope or global variable. You have to get it used global keyword first before the variable name, so that you can get it defined very clearly, like this variable is defined as a global variable, and you can use as per the need itself wheresoever you want to get it modified. If you want, like when we seeing the code of this lecture itself, so at that time you can able to see, like if you want to get it modify the variable value of the global, then in that case what are the steps we have to take it, that's we can get it covered inside of that code. But if you just want to get understand how exactly it's happening, like normally like in other programming languages, most of the time you're not having a possibility to get it modified that in later phase itself, but over here itself there is a possibility inside of the function also you can get it define a global. Then after that it's automatic get it, like the same variable you have to define with the global, inside of the function, and that the value which you are defining it. Later phase itself, if you're trying to get it, call the same function, and later you're trying to get it print that value. So the value, whatever the value get it changed, it's automatically get it reflected after when the function is get it terminated, and even that in a whole model itself, whatever the modified value you have done with the updation inside of the function, that is get it reflected even if you're calling after the function also. So those things we are covering up later phase itself. And if we're talking about like how it is having a difference itself, so it's a bit clear about it. Like if we do not want to get it explore a variable which is a local one, we wanted that to be in a enclosed section itself, then we definitely have to go with the local one. Global is having a different type of functionality for it. And there is another one which is, I can say that it's a bonus one, which you call it as unlocal. So that's also one other thing which you want to get it cover over here itself, like in a code where you can able to understand like what exactly difference between a local, global and unlocal itself. Okay, so let me go to the code now, and with the code itself I'll try to get explaining each and every section for it, and then we run the code, get the output, try to get it analyze the both the sections for it. Okay, let me go to the system now. So proceeding further in the coding part itself, so you can able to see my screen. So this is the actual code which we are trying to get it cover all the concept which we have discussed in the theory portion. Now this is the practical portion itself. So this one is the global variable, so you simply have to get it defined that, and I'm defining the value as 10. Okay, this I'm just considering as a global variable itself. Now what we have to do, we have to define one of the function. The function name is func a. Inside of that I'll simply want to get it, try to get it print that. So over here itself, whatever the value we have defined over here itself, it's get it printed directly. There is no modification I'm doing it. Now proceeding further with that, what I'm supposed to do in another function, I'll try to get it modify the value. So I'll simply have to get it modify over here itself, and don't consider this like as I'm defining it, this is just a name of the variable itself. Okay, so it's nothing like which we have discussed about the global is the keyword we have to use it before that, so that's different case. This is different, so this is a variable name. Okay, so over here itself the variable value I just trying to get it cover, and that I'll try to get it change over here as 20, and now when I try to get it print once again, this will print as 20. Okay, now going further with that, another function that we call it as a func, and over here itself once again I'll do one thing, I'll try to get it modified, but over here itself I'll do one thing, like I'll just make it this as change value over itself, so that later phase itself when anyone is calling the variable outside that also, then in that case the value will be 30. What we have discussed about it over here itself, the value of it is only changed just for an internal one only. So this is considered as a local variable. So when I try to get it print anything, this will go for the local variable to be get it print. Over here itself we don't have any local variable, so it's considered as a global variable. But if I really want to change the value of the global variable, then in that case I simply have to get it define this inside of the function, and then I have to change the value. So this is the two statement I have to edit, and when I try to run this, I can able to get that result as 30 itself. Okay, now going further with that, this is the another function, and this is a nested one. Okay, what exactly is happening inside of that function, outer function, we have this variable. Okay, this variable I'm just giving it a string I am outer, and now inside of that I'm just defining another function which is called as a nested one, and inside of that I'm defining its non-local outer, the same variable I try to get it defined over here itself, so that the range of it get extended. So what I've discussed about it in case of nested function, the range of the function, like whatever the internal function, whatever the variable will be defining inside of the function, it's having a range even outside the function also, which you consider as a nested one. Okay, so over here itself it's not having only the range till this position, it's having the range till 19 to 27, so it's having the range till this point. Okay, so whatever the value I'm getting defined over here itself, it's get it reflected over here itself as I'm just get it defined this as a non-local. Okay, so that is considered even outside this function also. So when I try to get it print, it's get it printed. So I'm calling this internal function over here itself, then after that once it's get completed, so when I'm calling to print this value over here itself, so it's not going this with this value. So right now the values get it modified, and that modified value is become a I am inner. Okay, so this is all about the function which you're talking about, the nested one. Now over here itself we simply have to call function A, function B, function C. So that is all about the thing. We just try to get it call all the functions. Now this is a different case. So what we discuss about it, as we have defined in function C, we have defined this. So the function of the purpose of this is when we are defining this. So when I'm trying to get it call over here, so just to get it print the value. So this time the value is not become 10. The value will still be 30 as we have defined it inside of the function, and that's considered changing the value of the global variable. And when I try to get it print, it will get it print the value as 30 itself. And over here itself we are just calling this function itself. Okay, so that's all about the code itself. Let me run this, and with the output you can correlate that. Okay, so initially when we try to get it print, it's 10 as we are not defining anything as a local variable. For the another one, we are defining the local variable. We are just trying to change the value just for the local purpose. It's not getting reflected the global variable. But over here itself, when I try to get it print, it's changed even for the local also, even for the global also. Like as I'm defining as with a global keyword, so it's not only changed for that function, it's changed for the whole module. Okay, when I'm calling outside also, it will get it print that same value as in the function C, the value of that variable is get changed. Now when I'm trying to call the outer function itself, then it's a nested one. So you can see like non-local keyword we are using inside of the inner function, and even that variable get it reflected outer function also. We can utilize the same value. So even we have the different value in the outer function, but still whatever the value defined inside of the inner function, that same variable value will be get it reflected in both the statements. So that's all about the stuff. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand the whole code about it. This is a small basic concept about the scope, how exactly we are defining it as a global, local, non-local. So it's totally depend on it. So situation wise we'll try to get it define it. I hope you are able to understand the whole concept behind it. And if you like to share some feedback from your side, you can put that in a comment section of this video. And if you like to go ahead further with this and you want to connect with me, you can connect me on LinkedIn directly. I'll provide the LinkedIn profile link in the comment section in the description section of this video, sir. So thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.